Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new documentary, Running with Speed. And this focuses on speed runs in video games and the culture around it, and some of the top speed runners through some of the most famous games out there. And this 2.5-hour documentary is directed by Patrick Lope and Nicholas Moss, and I have to say, don't think he needed 2.5 hours for this. Two, it gets repetitive because it's basically the same idea. Introduce a game, introduce a speedrunner, show them figuring out the code to do it, the blueprint, how to get to the end of the game the quickest out of anybody, and then giving a little bit of like, well, they had to compete with this person, bouncing back and forth, and they do this about 6 times or so throughout this film, and after a while it's like, I get it. It's the same basic idea. Some of the journeys are a little bit different because there are some moments where it digs a little deeper into their personal lives and understanding how they try to find balance in their life, the people that support them, when they've had to give up this fame, this fortune, and even one particular speedrunner dealing with their own transition into being a woman, and those different kinds of things do add some depth and some interest to some of these sets of different stories along the way. But what is fascinating is like it really helps you get an understanding of like what this is speedrunning, what the culture is around it, and there's some pretty exciting moments like, oh my god, they did it! And you have that moment. It's very exciting in that moment. And you also get an idea of how big this culture is and the scope of it and how much money they really make. And it is a cool story that they talk about one of their big charity events, and you get to see their experiences with that. It's also pretty cool for me personally when they started talking about doing stuff at MagFest. I'm like, haha, I've been there quite a few times at this point. But in the end, I think this is a fine documentary. If you're particularly interested in video games, I think you'll really enjoy this. And, like, I've been playing video games since, I don't know, since I was probably, like, 6. So, like, and I'm 31 now. Been spending a large chunk of my life playing video games. And I thought that was very interesting. It's just overlong, overly repetitive, but it's still an interesting, cool idea. And I've never been into speedruns and watching people do speedruns, but it was something that drew me in and I found interest in it. But those are my thoughts on Running with Speed. Let me know what you think and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.